So, YouTube family, Dylan Edwards, Kansas State football versus Tulane University. Louisiana got some different animals over there, but we're going to get started with a little bit of highlights just to give y'all a preview.
And you are automatically in. That's right. The 12-team playoff, so that could take care of itself. But say you're Kansas State, and you don't win the Big 12 championship. As Mensah goes play action, he's going to take a shot downfield for Fleming. He's got it.
10-pound body going north and south because he is a load to bring down.
He was the Rookie of the Year in the American last year. Mensah on a rollout, long throw, diving catch
As you get to see, ladies and gentlemen, you get to see Dylan Edwards be the invisible man that we said he is. See, when it comes to Dylan Edwards,
Morgan to get off the field under his own power, and there goes Dylan Edwards, touchdown.
Looking up at the scoreboard and seeing it was 41-6, just a W. I ain't won a game in a while, and it just felt real good.
well, you almost didn't win today. Let's show we do nothing but receipts over here. I don't want to listen to groupies. One thing we said about Dylan Edwards, he's a good running back. He's a 4-star running back. I loved him when he was in Colorado. Even all the videos where I criticize him, I tell you he's a good running back, but he's hard-headed. He got the wrong people yapping in his ears, and he's a coward. We're going to stick to that, and we're going to stand on business with that. Let's get to it. So if you guys don't know what's going on, Mr. Dylan Edwards got a chance once again to show who he is in front of the world. Now, let's look at the odds that were against him. So Kansas State tunnel odds, you guys pause it and look at the betting polls. We know Kansas State has been winning throughout the year, especially 3 years in a row with their head coach, Chris Kyman. They've been consistent, they've been a winner, and they're ranked number 17 in the top 25 for a reason. So let's not pretend Dylan Edwards went to a struggle team, so we got to feel sorry for him. Everything we say, we get to stand on it. So let's go on with it. So Tulane scoreboard versus Kansas State, and I already see the groupies of Dylan Edwards making excuses. If you guys watch this game, Tulane lost the game. Kansas State did not beat them. I watched all the game from when it started until it ended. They were getting beaten like somebody stole mama's breakfast cooking off the water of the Himalayas. It'll make sense by the end of the video. Now catch it. I did a video during halftime. Go check it out. Dylan Edwards didn't even get to shine and didn't even get to do nothing. He had only one carry in the first half for -4 yards. Now the Green Waves, if you guys don't know, I want to tell you about Tulane Green Waves, that is. The Green Waves had a strong season last year. They were 11-3 in the AAC. You feel me? A great record of 8-0 in the AAC, that is. So it was a perfect record in their conference play, but all around they were 11-3. A good team. You feel me? Much like North Dakota when we played North Dakota. Now Dylan Edwards' first touch didn't mean nothing because a man by the name of DJ Giddens, who had 1,200 yards rushing last year, he's the big dog this year. Had over 140 something yards rushing against a weak team. So this year he did good. I mean, this game against Tulane, he was doing kind of okay. But let's get to some receipts because it feels like I'm yapping. Dylan went from looking like a stud at Colorado to being an invisible target / gimmick at Kansas State. Let's break it down. So you're looking at the stats here. Dylan Edwards touched the ball 4 times for 54 yards, ladies and gentlemen. 13.5 average. That's what I want you to look at. So clearly he's not a scrub. 13.5 average and scored a 13-yard touchdown. We're going to look at those receipts, but I just need you to look at the stats right quick. Let's fast forward. Look at Tulane's stats. Their running back had 21-yard carries for 128 yards. I'm trying to show you which one was the better team. Now, Edwards' relationship with his quarterback that he fell in love with since Pop Warner days, no other than Avery Johnson, the redshirt freshman for Kansas State. Actually, he's a sophomore now for Kansas State. And I know Will Howard, who went to Ohio State, left because of the supposed superstar at Kansas State football.
Was always to go to Kansas State together. They've been playing football since childhood. Edwards decided to go to Colorado, but then got homesick. And as soon as he already put his name in the transfer portal. Johnson went into Chris Kleiman's office and said, call him right now. Get him on the campus this weekend.
Don't fall for it. He did not leave to go be with his educational purpose, best friend, his best mate. He left because of competition at Colorado. He thought the grass was way greener at Kansas State, and we're seeing Chris Kleiman could care less about Dylan Edwards. They use him as a gimmick, and he's not even a scrub. He's a good running back that's not being utilized the right way. You know Deion Sanders and them would have utilized him better than this. You guys are getting hyped for 54 yards, and you negate the fact that Dylan Edwards at Colorado had 200 and something yards, total yards, his first game against a prominent opponent such as TCU. But you don't want to talk about it. You don't hear me. Look at this right quick, man. Avery Johnson, the star quarterback, had 15 completions out of 23 attempts for 181 yards. I'm going to show you the other team's quarterback. He's the real superstar. But let's stick with this. Let's look at some of the highlights before I break it down, because you groupers are going to look at these 4 highlights or 3 highlights of Dylan Edwards, and you're going to think superstar. Boy, he sure gave it to Deion Sanders in Colorado. Let's look at it.
Dylan Edwards will be looking for number 29. He goes through there again.
Those two alongside one another in the backfield again. Another handoff to Edwards. Edwards streaking down the sideline. All the way down inside the...
You know what I'm saying? I had to break it down for you guys by showing you the stats first and letting you know what happened before you get hype over stats. When you don't watch football and you only watch the highlights, you think you know and understand what actually happened. So I'm going to show you more highlights of Dylan Edwards' 7-yard rush gain right here.
On the part of Tulane, this offense is explosive enough to make you pay.
He's getting hurt already. You've seen it. I don't know if he's durable enough, but we're not going to get into that. And what's bad about it, look at the score. The score was 20-10. Tulane was defeating Kansas on just all around, bro, on all sides of the balls, even on special teams. I'm going to show you how they lost the game and explain it to you, but let's show more Dylan Edwards highlights. Hang on. He scored a touchdown. I don't want to shortchange Dylan Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. I want to at least show his touchdown, because I ain't no hater. You feel me? He scored a 13-yard touchdown I wanted to get to. Hang on right quick. Let's show the 13-yard touchdown for Dylan Edwards. Hang on. Here we go. Remember and notice when they keep utilizing Dylan Edwards, they're using him during any means necessary when they're getting the brakes beat off them. And what's sad is he actually performed when he touched the rock, and the coach still benched him. Still benched him out the paint, and you're thinking, did Dylan Edwards do something wrong to Chris Kleiman? I mean, the redshirt freshman quarterback Darian Mensah ate up Kansas State's suspect defense. Before we get to Dylan Edwards, because let's not forget, Dylan Edwards ran a 24-yard run, and the coach was still using him as a decoy, still using him on blocking assignments. I mean, Dylan is a good running back, but he's not respected by the Mayo coaches. Deion Sanders had love for Dylan, but you can clearly see they don't care that he's a good running back. They don't believe in him no matter how good he actually does. But let's get to the real star of the game. We're not going to get over that. There was a star of this football game called Darian Mensah.
10-pound body going north and south because he is a load to bring down.
He was the rookie of the year in the American last year. Mensah on a rollout, long throw, and you automatically in.
Balling, straight up balling.
Could take care of itself. But say you're Kansas State, and you don't win the Big 12 championship. As Mensah goes play action, he's going to take a shot downfield for Fleming. He's got it.
Balling.
Come betting on the future with the way they paid him, just like Tulane's betting on the future with Darian Mensah.
All out blitz. Mensah off his back foot. Close to the line.
Balling. And guess what? Mensah got injured, ladies and gentlemen. Mensah got injured for a little bit. I want to show you guys his stats right quick. Hang on. I want to show you Mensah's stats right quick. Let's see if we can find it, because this kid, he's something else, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to read this and look at his stats with me and for me. Tulane stats right here, y'all. Check this out. What you see the running back, we showed this one already, the amount of yards he had. What if I tell you, hang on, That's the wrong stats. I'm one of these people who believe in receipts only. That's the only thing we got to deal with when it comes to receipts. We don't need to listen and focus on anything else but that. Okay, Dylan Edwards had 4 for 54. And your guy from Tulane, ladies and gentlemen, he outworked everybody else. He actually had 342 yards passing. Do you guys hear me? 342 yards passing for 2 touchdowns. You guys all get to see it. And let me show you more of what happened. He got injured, right? This is during his first half situation. 14 for 19, 267 yards, and 1 touchdown at the time. But then he got injured. They brought their second string quarterback who ran for 7 yards. But Darian came back in the game, and he performed.
I'd be good with your eyes in the secondary in case they try and hit you over the top.
Play action. And so looking downfield, he's going to float one to the line. Mario Williams, another coverage ball.
Look at that.
And Williams
It's not over with yet.
and now they're trying to get lined up. The play clock's down to 6. They were arguing that call. The play clock at 2, down to 1. They do get the snap off. And
He's the better quarterback.
he's going to hit.
Outshine Avery Johnson. He's the better quarterback. Look at this, y'all.
Goes 6'5".
Sweet touchdown right here. Pay attention. This is Tulane versus 17th ranked Kansas State. They dismantled them in every way.
And so looks that way. He's going to look for that back right.
Touchdown. Look at the replay. Let's look at the replay.
And then just come right off of it.
Full breakdown.
Hit you over there right inside that pylon. That's all you're trying to
This
do
is NFL type of pure pocket passing quarterback. Look at this.
to kind of work their way through.
Mensah back to work. Over the middle. Finds Mario Williams.
I mean, it just kept, they even ran all over the field on a weak Kansas State defense. Colorado football would beat Kansas State. Rankings don't mean nothing.
Cut off the coach-to-player communication
Look at this.
15 seconds on the play clock, which is right now.
Ate them boys up. No Diddy. And no Kizzy. You feel me? Listen, the only reason they lost the game, Darian Mensah was getting sacked, and instead of tucking in the football, he left it out, so Kansas State picked it up and ran for a touchdown. Not only that, if you watch the game like me, there was like 30-something penalties against Tulane. The refs were throwing them like they were trying to save Kansas State. So even if Tulane earned the penalties, that's sad that you're only surviving the game because the opponent gave up certain situations. That's pathetic, man. You're the 17th ranked Kansas State. What will the excuses be? You're not going to see the media go on Chris Kallman, who's supposed to be a top-notch coach, but having an underwhelming performance like this. Now, let's move fast forward on Dylan Edwards. See, Dylan, listen, Deion seen Dylan as the main piece. Maybe not a starter yet, but the main piece. You guys seen how Colorado tried to utilize him. And when Sean Lewis didn't use Dylan the right way, Deion Sanders demoted Sean Lewis to show that he favors Dylan Edwards. What more you want Dylan Edwards to do? Just hand everything to you? So you see this coach doesn't respect you. Chris Kallman doesn't care about no Dylan Edwards. They only got him to throw it in Deion Sanders' face. Too much gimmick plays, too much blocking assignments. I wrote everything down as the game was going. Kansas State got 7 running backs for no damn reason. They only got Dylan to use him as a stitch, as a gimmick. 7 running backs? What are you going to do with 7 running backs on your team? Speaking of that, I think they had a dude over here that I wanted to use and show you guys. Hang on right quick, man. I wanted to show you the running back that they actually had over him in the depth charts, but he didn't play this game. They didn't even want to use that much running backs. I think they seen my videos that I made during halftime. Somebody got to Chris Kallman and said, you see this dude DJ Bless One going in on Dylan. You better make homeboy start. And that's what happened. Because of me, they didn't even make him start, but they gave him the rock. But he only touched the ball 4 times today. Just like the last game, they played against a scrub team. He didn't even barely get the ball, but he shined. We never said that he can't shine. We literally let you know that they're against them, bro. You left the team to go join your board tour, Avery Johnson, when Colorado is playing against North Dakota and still averaging 5.6 million viewers. I mean, you guys are playing Tulane, and you're having a struggle game where you have to survive against Tulane, but you're not going to hear the media call them out. Now, this is Dylan Edwards who want to shade Deion Sanders since you people say we're bashing him, and he says nothing against Coach Prime and them. Then what is this?
James was able to Oregon to get off the field under his own power, and there goes Dylan Edwards, touchdown.
Looking up at the scoreboard and seeing it's 41-6, just a W. I ain't won a game in a while, and it just felt real good. Last year, I'm not gonna tell you what way, but I can tell you I'm up 15 pounds.
James was able to.
He had a lot of shade to throw at the coach. You guys could say what you want, but looking at this coach here, Chris Kyman, he doesn't like Dylan Edwards at all. Edwards thought his childhood buddy Avery Johnson was better than Shador. Is this the quarterback that's supposed to be better than Shador? How much? Let's put his stats back up. Avery Johnson's weak stats, because he's supposed to be this star guy. Look at his stats, y'all. Avery Johnson threw for 181 yards against a Tulane defense, which proved Avery Johnson is not a good quarterback. I don't care what y'all got to tell me, because this coach clearly doesn't see the talent that Colorado seen in Dylan Edwards, and he ran over here to people who look at him not even as the second dish throwaway. They're looking at him as the third string throwaway. What that says to the people you claim you left for this type of reason. You left Colorado because of the competition. You went to another university who doesn't use you the right way. Dylan Edwards had 2 bursts of a possession, and they still benched him after that. It made no sense. What do they have against Dylan Edwards? Tulane quarterback got injured and still balled out. Dylan basically upset someone at Kansas State, to my opinion, because they're not utilizing him the right way. I mean, at least put him second string running back. They're not even doing that. There was only one good quarterback in that field today, and it was not Avery Johnson, the overrated, overhyped quarterback, best friend of Dylan Edwards. The real quarterback today was Darian Mensah, who's going to probably be playing on Sundays the way he's playing right now. Redshirt freshman and all. Now, Kansas State played a high school football team last week. That's my opinion. So now they're playing real teams. Can you imagine when they play actual teams in their conference in the Big 12? Jesus Christ, bro. They have Houston, we have a problem. Or in this case, Kansas, we have a major problem. When it counted, Kansas coach didn't want to use Dylan Edwards. He only used DJ Giddens. The only time he touched up on Dylan Edwards was during dire situation. So they got to be losing real bad before he even thinks about utilizing Dylan Edwards. That speaks volumes. Like, Dylan, they lied to Dylan to get him to go to Kansas State. But with Coach Prime told Dylan Edwards the truth, and he didn't like that. Me don't like that, so he got to transfer. You feel, that's why I call him a coward. I've never said he's not good, but he is a coward. You scored a meteor core 13-yard touchdown. I mean, I guess it's good. Any touchdown is better than no touchdown. But they benched you right back again. Now, what's the difference on how Kansas is utilizing the position of Dylan Edwards versus the way Colorado was utilizing him? Y'all let me know that in the comment section, because I clearly see it. Do you groupies see it? You know what I mean? I know the real fans see what I'm talking about. Now, this still a bad game for Kansas State. They barely survived against a Tulane University squad that was deemed the lower favorites. I mean, when they play conference, hello, good night. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you feel about this game. I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. Love your family, love your kids, and stay blessed. This is bigger than football. It's deeper than football. Give me my theme song.